welcome to Power Nap Live. It is Sunday, and so we are here together. Listen, hey, leader. Hey, you. Hey, whoever is there behind the lens, on the phone, watching on YouTube. Have you ever felt guilty for resting? And if so, because I know you have, I have. I wrote a book about strategic rest and leadership because there were times that I felt guilty about resting. So if you have ever felt guilty about resting, if you ever felt guilt around you taking a rest, right? You looking for space to strategic rest, then this power nap is for you. Okay. I'm Dr. Erin Wilson, and welcome to Power Nap Live. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you, number one, why that guilt shows up. Okay. Why does it show up? And then also, I'm going to be talking about how you can take your time back without apologizing for it. Okay. Because oftentimes we feel, especially in that guilt, that we've got to apologize for resting. And that's not what we're here to do. Okay. So yesterday I had this big box that I had to get out of my car. And most people know me. Okay. I would have left that box right on in my car until and told my husband there is something in my car. I married well, so I appreciate that. But I really needed the stuff in this box. And my husband, even though he's back, he is out of town. And he was out of town or whatever. We were out of town together. I came back early in order to prep for a conference that I have to go to. But whatever the case is, I really needed the stuff in this super heavy box. Okay. So I think some folks know or whatever, I think I shared before that I just had hand surgery, maybe about my little ashy hands, maybe about 3. Let me get some lotion. We're in this together, okay? But I had surgery on my hand for carpal tunnel. Lord have mercy. How are we old enough at this point to be like getting surgeries for stuff like that? Whatever the case is, I had that. And so I still am not able to like fully use my hand at the full capacity. So I was like, it's okay. I'm determined to get this box to our apartment, and I have to do it myself because I need the stuff that's in the box in order to be able to be as prepared as possible for my clients, right? So y'all, I look in the back. Oh, and then, okay, on top of that, my car is with my husband, right? We drove down together and I flew back in order to be back on time to be able to prep, okay? So I didn't even have the stuff that I would have in my car. So I go into his trunk and I'm like, what does he have to help me make this work? Right. So I see that he has this big bag, which was one of my big bags, but I'm going to let that go. Okay. Because it did help me in this situation. I got to make sure to put it back in his car. Whatever the case is, there was this big bag. So I was like, if I can get the box in this bag, that'll help me take it up the long way to our apartment, to our place. So y'all, I put this box in this bag and it is so heavy, right? But I'm like, I'm determined. I have to do this with one hand and I've got to take it a long distance, but I can do this. So instead of taking it the whole way, right, I took breaks. So I told myself what the goal was. So I would go, okay, I'm going to get it up this hill and then I'm going to take a break. Right. So, of course, that's what I did. I walked it up the little hill. Like, y'all, our apartment complex is great, but it is a maze through here. Okay. But whatever the case is, I kept setting what the goal was. And then I would take a break so that I wouldn't like be exhausted. So I wouldn't hurt my hands. So I wouldn't do all of these different things. And there was a second where I thought I heard somebody coming down the hallway, right? And for one moment, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, what if somebody sees me, right, taking this break, just getting this box up? And then I thought, why are you worried about that? You did what you needed to do in order to get this box. And oftentimes that's what us deciding to take breaks feels like, right? That we're embarrassed if other people see us taking too much time, taking too much whatever. But I got that box up here and was able to do what I needed to do instead of having to wait because I used those breaks. And that's why rest is incredibly important. So listen, I want to see you who's here in the comments. So please, please, please make sure to drop where you're streaming from in the comments, like, share. Y'all know the drill, all of those different pieces. But I'm going to talk today, like I said, about why we can't allow guilt to stop us from taking the breaks that we need. Okay. So, I'm waiting to see. There we go. Hey, Willie. I can always count on my boy Willie to be in the comments. Come on, V Crowley, Texas. That's hilarious. Erica from Washington. Hi, Dr. Erica. I can always count on Dr. Erica to be in the comments too, okay? So I want to see where you're streaming from, who's in the comments. So feel free to drop that. But while I'm doing that, I just want to let you know. So for folks, hi, Paul. So good to see you. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic to see you today. So this space for new folks, of course, is really just like 15 to 20 minutes. I'm gonna start doing 15. Y'all know I can't do 15. So up to 30 minutes. Well, I say up to 30 minutes in order to rest our minds, to reset for the week that we have above, to reset our leadership. No fluff, no guilt. That's what we're here for, okay? So again, I often hear people saying, I should be doing something. I get a lot of clients that are like, well, whenever I'm just resting, I just feel like I should be doing something. Okay, but in the rest something? Help me help you, okay? Or there's so much to do. So how dare I sit down? I've had people who have said that, or said that that's something that people around them say when they're talking about rest. Or what I don't even know what to do with myself. Rest? Have you ever heard someone say any of those things? If you have, let me know in the comments. Or what's something that you hear people say when they are saying why they shouldn't rest? I want to see what some folks have to say. What have you heard other people say that are common guilty phrases that people use around rest? What are some of those? Like I said, I should be doing something. Who gonna do it is another one. Who gonna do it? Somebody, not me. What's one that you have heard as we drop those into the comments? I'm waiting for a couple to come through. Oh, I rest when I'm dead. Honey child, how you gonna rest? You dead. That's what I asked. I guess. I mean, how you know? How you know it was a good rest or not? At that point, exactly. We get phrases just like that. But that guilt is not the truth. Okay, the guilt that you feel when you're thinking about resting, that's really not the truth. It's a trigger. And we've got to be able to understand. Willie said that these things need to be handled so that I can move forward. Exactly. Oftentimes, people are like, oh, I got to do this or I can't rest. But sometimes you need to rest so that you can do the next thing. Remember, I just shared with you when I was trying to get that box up, the next step was for me to take those rests so that I actually could get it up to the next space myself. And if I hadn't, what if I had stumbled? I also didn't tell y'all this part. I think I said before. Ooh, Paula said, I'm not productive. That is such a good one that people often say. But what I find is that often when we are well rested, right? Or even when we make space for rest, we are more productive. Because I made space to do what I needed to do, I'm able to now enjoy more of my weekend because at the time I was working on it, I did what I needed to do, right? So rest has to be a part of what we consider productive, okay? So I want to introduce to you maybe 2 or 3 reasons why we experience that guilt around rest, okay? Oftentimes people experience it, but not necessarily really hone in on what's happening, okay? So the first one is we have allowed, and I wrote these down because I like to be prepared for y'all, okay? And I don't want to forget anything. So the first reason to me that people experience guilt around rest is that it's tied to their worth, like that their worth is tied to their output. I'm going to say that again. That we live in a society where we have often been surrounded by people that tie our worth to our output. And you can't do that. Somebody said rest allows me to be able to reevaluate what really needs to be done by moving out of the just do it mode. Exactly. Oftentimes, because of the guilt that has been assigned to output, we are just doing. We're not even strategically thinking about what needs to happen. Because oftentimes, if we do take a second to really think about what needs to happen, we're often able, number one, to find more strategic ways in order to do it, which can make it an easier process, right? Or we're able to see that maybe something didn't need to be done. Once I brought the box up and looked at the stuff that I needed for the session that I have to have it for, I realized I already have something that I was going to print. I already have something that I was going to do, and that saved me time, right? But if we're just doing instead of thriving, if we're just doing instead of being intentional about what happens, then yes, it is always a challenge. So the first one is we cannot tie our worth to output. We just can't do it. We need to stop doing it to other people. We need to stop thinking that because I don't look busy, I'm not doing great work. Because I've worked with many people that have been the chillest folks. They are always doing the work that needs to be done, but they're not out here trying to pretend like they're busy. But on the other hand, I have also worked with people who are constantly chicken littling me to death. Chicken little. The sky is always falling. Have you worked with the chicken little? Let me know in the comments. Don't put them folks' name in these comments. Don't do it, because I know y'all. I know the folks who watch the show. Do not put these people's name in the comments. But if you have worked with a chicken little before, who the sky is always falling, or they're always talking about how busy they are, oh, how much work they have to do. Since we got the same amount of work, what are you doing? This the one. What would they say? This the one that blows my skirt up. Probably shouldn't say that. But whatever the case is, this is the one that really gets me. Instead of celebrating people who are able to maximize their time, right? Instead of celebrating people who were able to get all of their things done ahead of time and enjoy their weekend or leave at the right time, why are we placing all of this? I don't know, like people just really be excited when people are like, I gotta stay after work. Okay, then what were you doing with the rest of your time while you were at work? When I used to supervise people and they were having to stay and do all of this stuff, that would not make me go, oh, you're a soldier for the cause. That would make me go, how do you not understand how to optimize your time? Why are you taking so long to have to do these processes? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, right? So especially as leaders, stop celebrating people who are constantly like, oh, I'm staying late. I'm doing all of these different things, because that doesn't mean you're producing any better work. Maybe you talked all day and now you got to stay back to do your work. What about that? Let's see. I had someone say, what has helped me is being more visual on my outputs. It allows me to be able to see that I am and have been productive. And that makes rest easier to swallow. I love that. Absolutely. Because again, like that first point, we've got to stop tying our worth to our output. Okay. If this weekend is a chill weekend for you and you get maybe one thing that was on your to-do list done, that's phenomenal. Right? We can't just think, oh, I didn't do what I was supposed to do if I didn't do 1,000 things on the weekend. And then the week for you is a bust because you didn't take any time to regenerate, right? Okay, so remember, we've got to stop doing that. The second one is people have got to stop seeing leadership modeled after self-sacrifice. We've got to stop glorifying leaders that are just constantly showing people that self-sacrifice is the only way to lead, because it's not true. It's just not true. Now, don't get me wrong. I love to work for a good servant leader. Okay. One of the best supervisors I ever had in my life was this guy named Guy. Yeah, I don't know if you'll see this or not, but it's truly, I say that, and I've had a long, I've had quite a bit of a career now. I've been working for at least 20 years of my life now, 2 decades, right? And the best supervisor, the best manager I have had to date, and there's some people who are, close second, but for sure, I would say it was him, right? And at that stage in my life, it made sense that it was him because of some of the things that he would do. Guy was one of those people that he made sure that his team was taken care of, right? But that didn't mean everything was a self-sacrifice. He would still get out to be able to go walk his dog. I would see that he would tell me, go home. What are you still doing here? The work will be here tomorrow, right? And so in taking care of me, it allowed me to understand, number one, it was okay for me to take care of myself and that I can still do work, good work, great work, excellent work, because I don't do anything less than excellent work, right? You let me tell it. But that allowed me to know that it was possible. When it was time for him to self-sacrifice, he would, but it would be met with bunches of other times where he would be taking care of himself, right? And I really, really appreciated seeing that. Another boss that I loved to work for was at a university I used to work for. And one of the things that I love to see about her is that she too, baby, that PTO, she was going to take it. Them trips, she was going to be on them. Sis did not miss an opportunity to be out of that office. Okay, that door may have opened at 8:30, but was she there? No, because she had two core principles that were important to her. And to me, as good leaders, that's what you do. The first one is you choose people who are experts. You lead a team of people who are experts at what they do, which means that you don't have to be the expert, right? Because you've already got the expert. And then the second thing to me that a good leader does. So see, there are two things that don't even require you to be self-sacrificing as a leader. The first one is hire experts. Hire people who know what they're doing and get out of their way. The second piece is to be someone who removes roadblocks for said experts. And I guarantee you, if you do this, you will have time for the rest that we're talking about, for strategic rest. Okay. And if you're not sure about the strategic rest or what it is, need to understand the NAP framework, check out my book, Strategic Rest in Leadership. But here's the thing. A good leader is able to do those, and then you're able to have space for rest because you're not worried about what's happening over here. You've got the experts. And then not only do you have the experts, but you've removed the roadblocks for them. That's what good leaders do. That's what good managers do. That's what good supervisors do. And that leaves time and space for everyone to be able to add rest, to be able to experience it, okay? So the third thing, we now talked about it. Stop tying I can't talk today. Stop tying your self-worth to your output. We got to stop doing that. The second piece is leadership. We've got to stop using a self-sacrifice model of leadership. Oh, I see somebody say, I've learned that sometimes the roadblock or bottleneck is you. Absolutely. Have you ever worked for a leader that every time you're trying to do something, they're the ones that are holding you up? It's not even the people in the process. They want to know all the different things. If you wanted to know it, then do it yourself. What's the point of having somebody else? What is the point? What is the reason? What is the reason that you would need somebody else if you're going to do it? If every step of the way I got to tell you what I'm doing. That doesn't even make any sense. And it doesn't leave space for you to be your best version of yourself in this leadership role. You should not need to know every minute detail of a process that someone else is supposed to be doing, that you trained, that you gave all the right tools to, and that you picked the right person for in order for things to happen. And if it is, it's you. And I can say that it's my show. It's you. If you're a leader that constantly have to peek over the shoulders of the people you work for, then there's only a few things that it could be. Number one, it's the wrong person. And so stop playing with their time, stop playing with your time. Let them as like I said, one of my favorite bosses, he would say, future endeavor. Let them be future endeavor. We wish them well on their future endeavors, and go on and get you somebody who knows what they're doing. If the person knows what they're doing and you still feel like you have to be peeking over their shoulder, then it's you. It's you. You're the issue. Let them do what they have to do so that you both have space and time for the stuff that you're trying to make time for. Okay. So the third thing is, a lot of people are walking around here, and I have said this before, but a lot of people are walking around here acting as though they need permission to pause, and that nobody gave them permission to pause. Excuse me? Nobody is going to tap you on your shoulder. They're not going to. They're not going to. Who's going to tap you on your shoulder and say, oh, it's time for you to take a nap? This is not kindergarten. Y'all, listen, I be thinking, about kindergarten so much. And I'm going to tell you why. Because in kindergarten, I feel so bad. Who was my kindergarten teacher? I'm trying to think about who. I know who my pre-K teacher was, but I think her name was Miss Perkins. Miss Perkins, if you ever see this, bless your heart. Because I'm a lot now. So I can't imagine what a 5-year-old Erin was like who didn't think that she needed a nap. This is not kindergarten. No one is going to tap you on the shoulder and say, rest. They're not going to hand you your mat or a sippy cup and say, lay down. You have to do that yourself. This is for you. It is for you, literally for you. So stop waiting on people's permission to take the PTO. Now, I know someone's like, well, listen, I got to get somebody to approve the PTO. Sure, you do. Absolutely. But during the week, during your work week is not the only time that you can take time off. It doesn't have to be something long, a long production. Yes, don't get me wrong. Did I spend some of my weekend at the spa? Yes. Okay, because this is a lifestyle for me, but it doesn't mean that everything has to be a production. Rest does not have to be that. It only needs to be what you need it to be. That's it. And it doesn't look the same for everybody. Rest only needs to be what you need it to be. That's a word right there. That is a word. So here's the thing, right? We talked about, these are the 3 reasons that oftentimes people experience that guilt around rest, that is tied to their output or their worth, right? Their worth is tied to that output. That we've only seen leaders who use self-sacrifice and model that as the way to be a leader. And that's not the case. And then also people are waiting for people to pause and to give them permission to do that pause. And that's not going to happen. So I need you to understand, we've got to shift that thought process, because rest is not your reward for burning out. It's not. Rest is not your reward for burning out. It's your rhythm for brilliance, y'all. Rest unlocks so much for us. It gives us a new wind, the wind beneath our wings. Okay, that was dramatic, but it really is. We've got to stop looking at it like that carrot on the end of a stick and really understanding that it is the rhythm for our brilliance, the things that we can come up with when we're rested, the way that we treat people better when we're rested, the way that we lead with more clarity when we're rested, the way that we come up with that business idea that you've been looking for, not just the idea, but how to actually be able to listen for the strategy, right? to be able to put pen to paper or whatever you're doing. That comes in the stillness, in the power that it takes to pause. Okay. So I've got a mini challenge for you this week. Your mini challenge is I want you to pick 30 minutes. Okay. I want you to block 30 minutes on your calendar. If you're not a calendar person, that's okay. Whatever the case is, I want you to pick 30 minutes. I want you to block 30 minutes, and I want you to call it your power pause. Okay. So your challenge this week is to pick 30 minutes, call it your power pause, and you don't owe anybody an explanation for it. That's it. If you need to put it in the calendar as power pause, put it in there. Mark it private, whatever the case is. But I want you this week to take 30 minutes, block it off. See what comes from that. Sit with yourself. Repaint your nails if you're not someone who's able to go to the spa, okay? I got mine buffed this weekend. Okay, because I don't play with fingernail polish, because the minute it's chipped, I don't want anything to do with it anymore. Okay. And I know some people would be like, get gel. No, thank you. Because in order to do it, they always have to use the drill. And I don't like what that looks like on my nails. I want my nails. So anyway, you see how, look how, okay. So go to the spa and get your nails buffed. Whatever the case is, do something with that 30 minutes. Okay. I want you to block it off. That's going to be your power pause. You do not have to earn your right to breathe. We've got to stop thinking that we got to earn it. Rest is not something we earn. It's our strategy. It's our secret weapon. It's a thing that's been taken away from us, and we are reclaiming it. It is resistance, as you've seen people say over and over and over again. You're not behind. When you rest, it is not placing you behind. Oftentimes we think if we don't keep moving, we're going to fall behind. But if we keep moving at that pace, we may never get there. You may never actually get to become the thing, the person, the brand, the whatever it is that you're trying to do, if you don't do it at the right pace. And the right pace includes breaks. It includes pause. It includes pausing. We've got to stop writing the formula and not having that in there. So I want to know, as we wrap up, what's something that you're releasing this week? What is one thing that you're releasing this week to rest like you really mean it? Okay. In the comments, if you're watching this after the live, that's okay too. I still want you to put that in there. What is one thing that you're releasing this week to really rest like you mean it? Okay, drop it in the comments. I want to see it. Make sure that you share this with somebody who needs to be reminded that guilt around rest has to go. Has to go. So 2024. Has to go. Okay. Make sure you put in the comments what's one thing that you're releasing this week to rest like you mean it. All right, folks. I want to thank each and every one of you. We've got some folks who have some stuff coming in. Miss deadlines of others. They will pick up them pieces by themselves. Okay. Because, what's that phrase that people would always say? Just because it's an emergency, just because it's a emergency for you doesn't make it an emergency for me, or something. No, bad planning, poor planning on your part does not an emergency for me make. Say that to somebody this week. Okay. Spending too much time on social media. Yes. Needing to do more. Throw it out of there. Throw it out. Throw it out. Okay, absolutely. And listen, spending too much time on social media. Now, always make sure that you watch this show, okay? But I get it. Those doom scrolls sometimes can take you through. But also, if that is what you need to rest sometimes, then do it. Okay? Just set a timer. Say 30 minutes once. Hey, Alexa, set a timer for 30 minutes. Right? And give yourselves the 30, the 15, the 10 minutes, whatever it is for you to do that, so that you took the pause and you can put it to something else that you need. All right, you guys. Please make sure you like, subscribe. It really helps to make sure. I just can't believe how many people hop on each week because you guys you subscribe, you share this, and I'm so grateful for it. Okay. All right. I will see you guys next week, same time, same place, 10 o'clock Central Standard Time on Sundays, on YouTube. I cannot wait to see you guys. Make sure that you make good decisions, okay? And rest like you mean it. See you next week. Bye.